Good afternoon, viewers. Today is one of my best subject which I'd be discussing with doctor about rejuvenation of body. I'm sure that all of us love to look good, love to keep ourselves beautiful. While that is important, but at the same time, we, at certain point of time, we also need to take care of the body to reduce our fat, to maintain our sugar level, cholesterol level, etc., etc. So he is the best person to come. He is Dr. Karan Shetty, our consultant plastic surgeon. We will talk more about that, how to keep ourselves young, body and mind, mentally, physically, and can have a healthy life. So let me just give a small introduction of the doctor. Doctor, already I have about 2 pages of questions for you, and
Sure.
and you have to cover all this. Dr. Karan Shetty is a certified plastic aesthetic and reconstructive surgeon and a facial rejuvenation and body contouring surgeon. He has trained globally with plastic surgeons around the world to attain world-class skill in body sculpting and facial rejuvenation and breast surgeries. He has completed his training in super microsurgery from the University of Tokyo, Japan. He was selected for the prestigious Dutch Association of Facial Plastic and Reconstructive Surgeons, fellowship in rhinoplasty and facial aesthetic in Stuttgart, Germany. He has also undergone training in breast aesthetics and body contouring in University Hospital Moncloa in Madrid, Spain under Dr. George Asso. Dr. Shetty has maintained the highest level of standards in training patients, providing a complete understanding of the course of treatment and combines surgical precision with a unique artistic skills to give the best results. Dr. Shetty has a special interest in body contouring after massive weight loss to help patients gain confidence to lead an active and fulfilling lifestyle. For the past few years, Dr. Shetty has also focused on rhinoplasty and facial rejuvenation and body contouring, which includes liposuction, breast augmentation, reduction, and abdominoplasty, right? Which in a very common term we call tummy tuck. Dr. Shetty also holds an assistant professor post in plastic surgery in Bangalore Medical College and Research Center and has written several scientific papers pertaining to the field of plastic surgery. To know more about him, please log into his website, which is drkaranshetty.com. Good afternoon, doctor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for
Yes,
having
there's
me.
so much to talk about you, and I'm so happy to introduce you to our viewers.
Thank you.
In a very common terms that whenever we come to a plastic surgeon, and we generally say that we are aging, we are having a double chin here. How to control that? So once we have a double chin, can we control that, or how we can make a slow process of that?
Yes. Mainly, see, aging per se is inevitable. It is something that is a part of humanity or part of any organism in the world or in the universe. So it is important to understand that aging cannot be reversed. But we have to understand that aging can be controlled to a certain extent. And you are understanding how people feel about themselves now. It is more so important that we take care of ourselves, not only to look good, but longevity in terms of having a
True.
productive life.
Yes.
Being 70 years old and non-productive is of no use.
True.
So even at a certain age, if you are productive, able to work or at least function completely normally independent of anyone else, I think that's worth the
Very
trouble
true.
going
Very
through
true.
now. So it's important to understand what happens in aging, how we can control aging to a certain extent and keep ourselves healthy at the same time. So most importantly, how do we keep ourselves healthy? This is something which has been talked about so much in on multiple platforms, but eventually, end of the day, there are very few things that really matter. One is for you to control your body weight, to make sure that you are at a consistent body weight to your height.
Right.
To eat well, to eat consistently, and to eat good food. Thirdly, to get good sleep, and eventually to exercise. Fourth, to exercise once a day, and finally to be happy or be stress free.
That's very important.
I think being stress free and being happy reflects naturally on your face or on your body. So I think those 5 things are the most important things to at least control aging.
So when you said eat good, so what does that eat good means?
It means to have a balanced diet, to be to not excessively consume anything.
To be more onto the protein side, or all of us, we know that we should not have a lot of carbohydrates.
Yes.
Okay, so shall we go for more into protein?
See, there are multiple theories on food. I mean, on the nutrition itself is one of the biggest industries in the world, and researches on nutrition are even bigger. So for me to say exactly what kind of diet is good for you depends on what kind of in India, it depends on where you come from.
Okay, in that case, I can ask you that what we should not eat.
Yes, most importantly, I think one is to not overeat, is to eat as much as we want, to consume a lot
should not be stomach full.
Yes, to consume a lot of water every day, at least 2 to 3 liters of water. Be moderate on your alcohol consumption, and to probably not smoke. So those are the 4 important things. What exactly you should eat, it depends on person to person. A protein-rich diet is good, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't have carbs. You should have a well-rounded diet, which means if you're a non-vegetarian, you should still have vegetarian food as well. Vegetables are important. Color is important in your food. So those things are very important in what you eat. So a well-balanced diet is important, and not over binging, not too much of processed food, a little bit of home food. You mix everything to keep yourself happy and to keep yourself.
It also say that if you have food about 9 o'clock at night, do not sleep immediately, so it goes to the fat. How
yes. I mean, it depends on insulin levels in the body. So eventually it comes down to that. So there is a consensus that after you eat, you have to be awake for 2 to 3 hours at least.
Is it accumulate to the fat otherwise?
They say it does,
okay.
But again, I think that research is not very conclusive.
Okay. So if we come to the subject today, that what is, though it is a very vast, we will break it. What is rejuvenation of body?
See, rejuvenation of the body is something that it can happen at any stage in your life. It means you might not have been aware of it till you're 50, and then suddenly you realize that I want to look good because now you feel like your responsibilities are over, or from the beginning itself, when you're 15 to 20, you have that in your mind, you have that body image that you want to look good throughout your life. So you have a consistent effort to make sure that you keep yourself well. So rejuvenation of the body means at any age group, you want to feel better than you did the previous year. So that is how you rejuvenate your body. Then how you do it entirely depends on as I said in your last question, the few things that I said. And then it depends on what particular part of the body we are talking. Now, as a whole, if we talk in the body, as I said about diet, exercise, all those things are important. Inflammation in the body, if you reduce inflammation in the body, your body is in a better state of mind. Antioxidants, your essential vitamins, minerals, all these play a very big part in rejuvenation of the body. So it's very important that even in our diet we get enough vitamins, we get enough minerals, we get enough antioxidants which are naturally occurring, which will naturally rejuvenate our body. And then when it comes to specific parts of the body, then we can talk about how we can rejuvenate different parts of our body. So when it comes to that, it depends on what you feel you want to change in your body. And it's very important to understand that what you want to change about yourself is entirely your decision.
Correct.
And not someone else's.
Correct.
We do see that happening sometimes where someone else decides for you.
Very
so
true.
that has to be your decision to do something about your body. And what I am saying is, you can do it non-surgically, you can do it surgically. So it entirely depends on you. So the choice is yours. And we are in a stage in the evolution of the human race where, you know, it is possible to change things about ourselves, or go back to how we used to be a few years back. Like mothers can go back to how they used to be pre-pregnancy.
True.
Or old or people who have put on weight in certain parts can lose that amount of fat.
Right.
You can so we are in that point in our history where all these things can be done safely, without any compromise, or without any effects or side effects. It is like, you would say, you have moved from in technology from a phone which you used to have at home with a wire to like an iPhone 11 now, or
Right.
till iPhone 10.
Right.
So that is how much technology has changed in every field. And the same has happened in the health sector, where technology has improved so much. So we are at a position where we can do things safely now, without having too many complications.
What is body image?
Exactly. So body image is the most important thing now. So we are surrounded by Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and so many other platforms, where you're constantly also seeing everyone else's lives, seeing how everyone is leading their lives. So till a certain point, body image used to be about how you look at yourself in the mirror. So that is body image, which means that there are people who are a certain way and look the certain way in the mirror. There are some people who might be thin, but when they look
Which
at
do
themselves in
have-
the mirror, they look at a fat person, so they think they are fat. Same thing happens to different. So body image is that. Body image is your psychological projection of yourself when you look at the mirror. So that is what body image is, and body image is very important because, as I said, now with everything that's come in, it is so easy to judge someone else, or to judge
Because of the social media.
because of
and all
social
that.
media.
Yes,
It has just become judgment based, and that is why you see so many people on every platform promoting themselves based on their
Right.
looks,
Right.
or
Right.
or on the how they
But
look.
there
Yeah.
again is the technology comes sometimes,
Yes, yes.
they put,
It does,
you
it
can
does.
do all these,
It does.
the
It does.
changes in the
It
picture
does.
itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. But most of them, at least in India, there is a lot of people now who are
Very
we've
conscious
seen,
about
very
it.
conscious about how, and they have now realized that it is safe, it is possible to do things just
What are the most common procedure, or I'm sure that it's not only about the female, even the male,
Absolutely.
they also become very, very conscious nowadays.
Absolutely.
The kind of dresses now you get to see in any of the store, which probably about 15-20 years back, which was unbelievable.
Correct.
Yeah, so they are also completely going through that. Earlier we used to say that it's only female who wanted to look good, but nowadays even male, they wanted to look good. So what kind of generally the male patient come to you?
You wouldn't believe, ma'am, in our practice, I think there are more men coming now than
Really?
than women. In Indian men, basically, the most common thing that we do is that Indian men have a relatively heavy chest compared to the Caucasian or African counterparts. So the most common thing that we see is a gynecomastia, or we call it man boobs. So basically, as I said, because of social media and all that, we have come to a place where people want to take their shirt off, or do not want to feel embarrassed when they're with their partner, or when they are at the beach. So they work out. They work out, and there's, most Indian men have a certain amount of breast tissue as well, which means every male or female, every male develops a certain amount of breast tissue at puberty, and there's a point when that reverts back. It becomes a complete male chest. But I think in India, a lot of men do have breast tissue and fat as well. So I think the most common thing that men do in India now is liposuction of the chest, and we, to a certain extent, removal of the breast tissue as well.
What is the age for that? For suggestive or advised age? For
we have patients starting from 15 years old, up to 50 years old. So why why 15 years old? Because even less, 14, 13, 14 years old, we usually do not want to do those surgeries. But I will explain why. Because a lot of them are heavy chested, and they are ridiculed in school.
Because of the fat?
Yes, it's fat and some breast tissue. So they're just hitting puberty, and this happens.
Right.
So what happens is because of this, they are psychologically disturbed because they get teased in school. Everyone in school comes and pokes them or makes fun of them. And most of the children in that age group come to us only with psychological issues because they are getting teased in school. So even though we tell them to wait till about 16, 17 and see how it works out, there are some people who still want to get it done, insist on doing it because they don't want to get teased in school. So that's the only reason. If we see that the child is psychologically troubled because of the chest, we do the surgery. Otherwise, we wait till...
So if you do that at the age of 13, 14 or 15, is there any chances that to get back the fat again in the later stage?
I mean, getting back the fat is possible, but they don't go back to the same size that they used to be. That is why we try and...
Have you done any second surgery at any time?
No, not yet. But we try to push them till about 17, 18 years old, and then try and reassess. So 80% of the patients we send back and tell them that wait till you're 17 or 18 and then come back, and then we'll see what happens. Most of them do come back at that age, and then eventually get it done by say around 20 years old. So usually the age group we are seeing is that 20 to 30 age group are where most of the boys are. So we do a liposuction and some breast tissue removal, which is completely scarless. When you again take your shirt out of in public, no one knows that you had a surgery done, you had anything done, and hence it becomes very comfortable for them. Back in the day, they used to have scars, so it was very visible. Now people want to be discreet as well about what they do. So most of them, 100% of them have no scars.
So it's very safe as well.
It is very safe.
So it's a daycare procedure, or do you have to stay back?
No, 99% of the time, it is a daycare procedure where they come in the morning, get admitted, get the surgery done, and go back by evening. So by evening,
under general anesthesia, or it's
most of the time, again, 90% of the time it's done under GA. There is some percentage of patients, either due to problems in giving general anesthesia, or if the patient themselves wish they don't want general anesthesia, we do it under some sedation and local anesthesia. Both are very safe. We have an excellent anesthesia team here as well. So in terms of safety, as I said, it's come to a point where it is very safe.
What is body contouring surgery, and who can be the candidates?
Correct. So again, in terms of liposuction, so body contouring means liposuction. So again, this entire concept has come in the past few years, where there was a time when liposuction used to be done as a weight loss procedure.
Correct.
where they used to remove excessive
Very
amounts of
true.
fat.
Yes.
And then what happens is you're putting the patient in danger. So now we have come to a point where I do liposuction only to contour your body and not as a weight loss procedure, which means that most of our patients who come for body contouring surgery are relatively fit, not too obese, relatively fit, have a healthy lifestyle, eating well, but have stubborn deposits of fat. Now in men and women it's different. Men have it in they have central obesity,
right.
they have it in the abdomen,
Right.
they have it in the chest.
Right.
Usually those are the two places. Whereas in women it's on the hips,
Yes.
love handles,
Love
on the
handle,
back,
yes, yes.
on the arms.
Yes.
So these are the 4 to 5 places where women get it. So it is very important to understand where you should do what, which means liposuction in body contouring should be done only in these areas where you remove certain localized fat deposits from certain parts of the body. You don't go around taking fat from all over the body. Now there are people who come only for the abdomen, so we do abdomen, sides, flanks to give the natural beautiful contour in the body so that they feel very confident about themselves. Body contouring now is a very common procedure. We do a lot of body contouring because most of them are aware of their fitness, are aware of how they look. They have been trying, but they're not able to get that extra little bit of.
It doesn't happen. It's
Yes,
a stubborn fat.
a little bit extra. You see, women are not able to get rid of the hips on the outer side. They're not able to get rid of the love handles on the arms. So these are places they work out so much, but they feel that's not happening. It's just that extra push. So body contouring itself is that extra push which will give you that really nice contour to your body.
Right, and again, as we were discussing just before we started the live, that is again very important to come to a specialized doctor for all these, whether it is liposuction or tummy tuck or any kind of aesthetic surgery. Because nowadays lots of other centers called slimming centers or other small clinics, they have started doing this, and I do not want to personally remark onto that, but then it's very important that you come to a specialized person. Otherwise you never know that some mishap may happen, maybe a little later of your life something else may come up. Then it would be very difficult. Then at that point of time, if you come back to him,
Yes,
it would be difficult to handle for the doctor.
it's very important to understand
Yes.
that it is safe because there are doctors
Specialized
you're
doctor,
trained
yes.
for
Yes.
12 to 13 years
Yes.
in a certain subject.
Right.
You're trained, you have an anesthesia team which is
Right.
trained in a certain subject. So it's very important in any field
Right.
to go to the specific person.
Very true.
You will not go to I cannot go fly a plane, or I cannot expect someone else. I will not go sit as a passenger if someone else is flying a plane. So it's just that you should understand who should do what, and you should be smart enough to not think about an easier route. You should always go through the
Yes,
right
yes.
way of doing things.
Correct
Easy.
process. Yes.
So that is important.
So, doctor, what is the difference between liposuction and tummy tuck?
Yes, so liposuction, as I said, is
Yes, fat reduction.
is where we infiltrate fluid into certain parts of the body, and we put very fine cannulas, 2 to 3 mm cannulas into those parts, and we suck out
How
the
much time
fat.
it takes generally?
The procedure takes, depending on what areas are there, it can take anywhere between 1 to 3 to 4 hours.
Oh,
Yeah, usually around an hour,
okay.
because we have to infiltrate, which means we have to fill that particular part with fluid and then suck it out.
Okay.
So the number of hours varies.
And again, there won't be any scar.
No,
post
there's
time,
no
yeah.
scar
Okay.
because you're putting it through 2 mm, 3 mm
Okay, okay.
incisions, and we put it in areas which are hidden, which means if it is in the abdomen, it's usually around the navel, or it's usually under the underwear or panty line. So it is never exposed.
Right.
Even those holes which are there are never exposed. So you really no one
Not
can make a
visible,
it's
yeah.
not obvious. This one, whereas tummy tuck then becomes an entirely separate entity. So that gets into post pregnancy. In tummy tuck per se, there are two groups of people. One is post pregnancy women, and there are certain men or certain women who have excessive skin in the abdomen.
Okay.
So this is another big subject where after a woman has, say, her required desired number of children, now wants to feel like she wants to go back to how she used to look. So you know how pregnancy what happens to woman's body during pregnancy.
Correct,
And after
correct.
that, and the associated psychological thing that happens with how you feel after the child is born. So usually what happens is most of our patients now, most of the women, after the desired number of children, maybe 1 or 2 years after that, they start looking at themselves. So what do they see? Usually you will have an abdomen, which means a
Loose
lot of
skin,
loose
huh?
skin. And because of the pregnancy itself, you have the rectus muscle, which is in the
Right,
center,
right.
which separates. So you have that big upper part. So it's called a divarication of recti, which means the rectus muscle separates
Right.
during pregnancy.
Right.
In all of us, in men, you can feel that rectus muscle, or in non-pregnant women, you can feel it is in the center. But in pregnancy, it moves out. So that happens. Excessive skin happens. So
Right.
basically, it's a balloon deflation.
Right, right.
A balloon which has deflated.
Right, right.
Then they look at their breasts.
Sagging
Sagging
one,
of the breasts. Then they put on weight in certain areas. Then they start going to the gym. So they start working out. They start working out. They do improve to at least 70 to
Certain
70% of what they want to look. But the abdomen and the breast never change. Whatever you do. Some women can be gifted enough to where the abdomen reverts back to a certain
It's
extent.
very difficult.
But it's very difficult. So tummy tuck or abdominoplasty is a surgery where that excess skin,
huh?
the rectus divarication, which is the abdominal muscle which has separated, we bring it back to the center
Okay.
and remove the excess skin. And keep the navel in place. So because of that, what happens? It is like stretching the balloon. It becomes like there's a nice contour to the abdomen, and again the suture line is below the panty line,
Okay.
so it's not seen. So
So is it that you bring it back or you cut it off?
you cut it off.
Ah.
You cut off the excess
skin. Huh?
But I have seen that tummy tuck is one of the most satisfying surgeries for a woman, where suddenly after the surgery they start feeling so much better about their abdomen. We have seen so many women. There are women who have come from abroad, NRI especially. You have medical tourism. You have people from abroad. You have NRIs who come back to India and get it done. Because even they have realized that India is now very safe and has very good very good doctors and hospitals.
I'm not sure, but the person has asked by name Nilabja Sen, what is the cost? Maybe I missed it. Can age be a concern? Not sure about.
I mean, any concerns related to cost or anything they can discuss with us directly.
Right. So age cannot be a concern for anything, right? At any age, so far whatever we have discussed can be done. The procedure can be done.
I mean, age is never a barrier to do anything.
Especially the cosmetic.
It's not a barrier. I mean, most of the patients are older. That's why they come back for rejuvenation. They're very there is
Conscious
only liposuction and probably rhinoplasty and all those things are the only places where people are younger. Most of the other things are they're relatively older.
Correct.
They're above 35, and we have we have done facelifts, facelifts for women and men in their 60s, 70s. So a blepharoplasty, which means the sagging under the eyes, the excessive this under the eyes. You know what the things that happen with aging to the face mainly. So it is very important to talk about how we take care of the face as well.
So when you are saying that, I just thought of the yesteryear actor Rekha. She's aging.
Yes.
But then
yes.
her skin is so tight. So
Yes,
what do they
yes.
do? Is it the continuous process of surgery or something else?
I mean, for me to say specifically about her, it must be a combination of factors. It must be a combination of genetics, very good genetics. The fact that
because
most of
generally
these,
what happens is that this portion
absolutely
we lose, but then her I can see the bones here.
Yeah. So it's probably that, and secondly, it's probably that because they are actresses, which means that from the beginning, from the beginning, they have taken care of themselves. And thirdly, I think to a certain extent they would have sought some help.
So is it that if you do something on the face, you have to do that again, or at one time if you just I'm not sure that for to look if you see my
the
skin,
chin,
the chin bone here,
Yes.
which is not visible now.
Yes.
So if I want to
pull it back.
Yes. So one is that whether it is possible now.
Yeah.
Second is that whether it will remain the same, or after few years, probably it will start sagging again.
Yeah. So what this does is it reverses, especially on the face, especially on the lower jaw and double chin and all that. So what we do when we do a facelift or anything that we do to rejuvenate the face, we reduce the fat on under the chin, either by liposuction or by injections. If you have a small deposit of fat, we can give injections. Over a period of time, it completely dissolves.
Okay.
And as you said, on the jaw, you just have to pull it up. So we do a facelift and we nicely pull it up, and we do a neck lift, and along with that, so the entire thing moves up. So what happens with that is,
do you do a stitching or something?
Yes,
Okay.
it goes back. So
Back
again, the
to the
stitches
ear,
are not
okay.
seen.
Okay.
It goes behind the ear into the hairline. So again, the sutures are never seen. So what this does is, now if irrespective of your age, if we bring you back by 15 to 20 years by doing that, how your face used to be 15 years back.
Right.
That doesn't mean that after another 10 to 15 years aging will not happen. It will. It will, but it'll be slower. But then at this point of time, you have already de-aged 15 years.
Correct. So the confidence goes.
And then you're just coasting along with that. So on the face, it's very important, even from the beginning, to take care of yourself very well. It is very important, as I said, to sleep well. Alcohol and smoking does show. Very good care of your face in terms of moisturizing your face every day. Moisturize well. Moisturize as many times as possible. Wash your face at least twice a day. Use good sunscreen lotion. As you know, in Indian skin, tanning is very easy. It is very easy compared to anything else.
True.
So we are not a Caucasian culture, so it is very easy to tan. So it's very important that we use sunscreen. So the sunscreen is the only thing that prevents UV rays from hitting our face. So that helps in that.
So
prevents.
once that tanning happens, is it again possible to detan it?
Yes.
Because I could see that it has started tanning here for some reason. So, which someone said that at home that I do use, because of headache, a lot of very strong balm. So because of that, probably it has burnt out. I am not sure because I have not
Irritant,
come to you
yes.
yet. But then, is it possible to detan it?
Yeah, it is possible to detan. That area will probably require a combination of peels
Okay.
and lasers,
Uh-huh.
and it will improve
Okay.
around that area as well.
Okay.
But it's very important, as I said, to take care of yourself from the beginning. So sunscreen itself is one of the most important things that we have to do. If we do that one basic thing, it will prevent aging to a certain extent.
Well, what do you think about, again, earlier we used to do a regular facial, then somebody said that it's not good, and now even the men goes for regular facial. So
Yeah,
whether it is
yeah.
good for skin or not good for
So
skin.
facial becomes something that they do in the salon, which barbers do and all those people do. So I'm not very.
Is this good for the skin as you?
I don't know what the barbers do in the salon, but for in the medical field, we use certain creams, tablets, and peels. So a peel is different, very different from a facial. A facial, I remember when we were younger, when we used to go to this, they say it gives that certain amount of brightness
Okay.
to your face. But again, I can't vouch for that because I don't know what it is.
Okay.
A peel or anything else, what the peel does is it improves the by removing the uppermost layer of the skin. So the uppermost layer of the skin is peeled off, and hence new skin is coming out. So which means there is some rejuvenation of the face happening there.
It's very painful.
No,
Is this
absolutely not. It's just a
Okay.
peel. It
Okay.
falls off on its own.
So when you're peeling it off, is the outer skin,
Yes, the
goes
outermost layer. So basically, a peel is where you use
So
a
is
certain.
it seen that is coming out of the face?
Yes, it is
Okay.
seen. It is seen, but it is not that prominent unless someone comes very close to you.
Okay.
Only then they will know, and that
Okay.
peeling happens, 2 to 3 days after we do the peel. 2 to 3 days after that, the peeling starts, and it
Okay.
remains for 2 days after that.
Okay, and then the new skin,
The new skin is there.
is visible,
Yes,
which is much glower.
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
Okay, so when we were earlier talking of, I would really would appreciate Miss Jyoti and Mr. Sen, that when they say that what is the side effect
That
you
you have
have
seen.
seen on what, not sure.
Possibly with liposuction or anything. Side effects. See,
Or can lifestyle changes help? Yes,
yes,
of course.
absolutely.
Yes.
Lifestyle change is one of the most important things that is required in any of this.
Right.
See, again, this entire interview is based on the fact that
Yes.
certain things have to be done by you. As he said, again, lifestyle changes, you taking care of yourself. This becomes the third wheel in that entire, structure,
Right.
where a good diet, you taking care of yourself, and thirdly, you can talk about,
Right. Right.
just this will not make any difference.
Yeah.
It is a combination of things which make a difference. You loving yourself is more important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is the cost or the side effect? Yeah, maybe the side effect is
Correct,
of
correct.
the liposuction. And again, I was about to ask you that while liposuction is for the beautification, yes, but is that again for some medical reason as well? Anybody comes to you for medical reason to cut down on the fats because of cholesterol level or sugar level or something of that sort?
Again, it doesn't really. It does help to a certain extent because that amount of fat which is there in that part is gone, and hence makes them more. Their ability to exercise and all that increases, and all this in turn. It's a cycle which eventually gets into making you feel healthier, and hence your cholesterol, your this and all comes down to a certain extent.
Okay. So again, you are one of the specialized onto the breast surgeries. How or what can be done to rejuvenate the breast? Because in Indian scenario, in some parts of our country, we have seen that heavy breast.
Yes. In India, it is more common to see a heavy breast than a lighter breast. I think that is just a part of our culture or our genetics. So most people don't understand is that having very heavy breasts causes a lot of problems. Already there are a lot of women who come to us who have severe back pain, who have severe neck pain, who have severe fungal infection under their breast, who have the straps of the brassiere has severe marks on the brassiere because of the weight of the breast itself. There are so many problems associated with very heavy breasts, and most of the people don't know that there is an option to reduce the breast. So again, it is one of the most satisfying surgeries for a woman, because the kind of trauma that they go on a day-to-day basis with that kind of heaviness, only once we reduce it they realize that kind of change, and they're very happy after that. So breast reduction surgery is where we reduce the weight of the breast. So we have done cases where we have removed, on each side we have removed around 2.5 kgs. So almost 5 kgs of excess breast has been removed. So imagine if you are say 65, you become 60 just because of the size of your breast. We have seen breasts which are almost up to the navel. They are reaching the navel, the nipple is reaching the navel on both sides. So there are very, very difficult scenarios that women go through, especially with the breasts, which can be changed. So breast reduction surgery is something that we do for this.
So do you suggest that for the lady pre-pregnancy or post-pregnancy, or whether it is having any problem after the childbirth, if you do the surgery of the breast surgery, the baby feeding and all this, will that be having any issues?
No. There is a small possibility, but most of the time the breast itself will be able to lactate or give milk, because we have a lot of patients who come in the 20 to 25 age group. As I said, because of all these problems, they have all these multiple problems, back pain, this, and they're not able to take that on a day-to-day basis. So they want to reduce this, and when they come, they have a genuine concern about whether I'll be able to feed my baby or not. Eventually, when they get married and this one. So the answer is yes, they can. So there won't be a big difference in this.
Any therapy, again Mr. Sen has written that any therapy you have to maintain breast at old age.
It is important that we wear a well padded, supported brassiere, which I think is the most important thing in maintaining the correct one and to this. So I think that's the most important thing that you can do. But nature will take its course, and then it's up to you on how you get affected by it.
How is the breast augmentation done?
Breast augmentation is now the opposite of breast reduction, where again this has reached a point where it has become so safe. Again, a daycare surgery. Women, we see a lot of models, actresses, even day-to-day working women come for breast augmentation. It is a huge confidence boost for them, especially in a woman who has had almost a small sized breast throughout her life. So what we do is we use silicone implants, we use nanotextured implants, which again have progressed in that kind of technology. We use those implants and we implant it under the breast or under the muscle in the chest, and that gives that immediate and effect on this, because we put a certain amount of cc, so it's measured in cc. So we, depending on the amount of cc that you want, we add that sized implants into your breast, and again the when we put it, into the breast, the suture line is not seen because we put a 3 centimeter incision under the breast. So again, when you stand up, or even if you're undressed, it is never seen.
Okay, okay.
So obviously, when you're dressed, it's not seen. But even if you're undressed, it's not seen. So
Again, how safe is this? And
yes, it is. It is now become a breast augmentation has become one of the safest procedures. Where most of them come in the morning and go back in the evening. It's a daycare procedure now.
Okay, okay. And again, I'm sure that we are talking this about a young girl who comes to you,
Yes.
and they have all this mental trauma that brings to you. But then again, after post-marriage, how it will have a normal milking for the feeding, or
Yes,
is there
same
any
thing.
problem?
That especially even in breast augmentation, we don't even touch the breast.
Okay.
We don't even touch the virgin
So
breast.
once you do the breast augmentation, so post surgery or post pregnancy, will she be having the same problem of breast sagging?
Yes, yes. See, the possibility of her breast sagging will always be there.
Okay.
But then there's already an implant now. So the implant itself will prevent a certain amount of sagging compared to a woman who doesn't have an implant. So having an implant will prevent a certain amount of sagging, definitely. But eventually, it might save probably 5 years. But eventually the sagging will happen.
Again, pregnancy and motherhood take a toll on the human's body, as we have
Absolutely.
already discussed. What changes happen to the body, and that
Yeah.
we can be improved upon?
Yeah, like I said, post pregnancy, there is breast,
Huh.
abdomen are the two most important areas. Complete sagging and deflation of the breast. Once breastfeeding is over, the abdomen becomes lax. So those are the two most important areas where this happen. Most of the other parts of the body do go back to their revert back to their this one. Maybe the face changes to a certain extent, but that's all great. But these two are the two areas, as I said, are the two most important areas where the abdomen, where we can do a tummy tuck. For the breast, we can either do a breast reduction or a breast augmentation, depending on what's required.
Okay. In India especially, we have seen not much of the West that we have, as we are aging, or, the fat, because of the fat and all this, because of the food habits, we have, the women generally have, love handles or
Yes.
banana rolls.
Yes.
So how to handle that?
Yes, it is all through liposuction, where we take out, as I said, specific areas, especially for women. There are specific areas, and we
The
call it.
liposuction is the only way. is
Yes,
it?
love handles. I mean, you exercise.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you exercise, you maintain your diet as much as you can. But then beyond a certain point, they do not improve. So most of the time, it is that where we have to improve by liposuction.
Okay.
Most of these areas.
Okay. There is a question, is surgery a solution for
Gynecomastia.
Huh.
Yes, surgery is the only solution.
Only solution.
Yeah,
for it.
surgery is liposuction. Liposuction and this. There is no other real cure or medical way of this. But again, as I said, this surgery for gynecomastia itself is so simple. It is like taking a pill. So you come in the morning, you go
Right.
back in the evening.
Right.
It completely changes your perspective, because once that, eventually it is about feeling confident about yourself. If there is certain part of your body where you are feeling is inadequate, there are two ways of looking at it. One is that you either improve on it or you accept it. So those are the only two ways of tackling
True.
any situation.
True.
So if you are of the mindset where you say I am okay with what I have, you belong to that
Right.
category, and that's
Right.
fine.
Right.
If you're in the category where you feel that no, I want to change this about myself so that I am able to be more confident, then you belong to the category which can go in for these procedures. Again, because it is so safe. So I have seen so many men who have, as I said, man boobs, after getting the surgery, so much more confident by the way they speak. Women with abdomens, tummy tucks, so much more confident. People with very bad noses all their life, suddenly after the surgery, after rhinoplasty, get a beautiful nose. You change, you
the
can
confidence gains,
yes, you can automatically see within the first 1 month, you can see the amount of confidence that they build immediately after the surgery. So that is the sector where we can help. So this becomes completely improving your life based on building your confidence.
Very true.
So if you are of that incidence where want to get it done, you should.
We actually, doctor, didn't realize that we have a program for half an hour, and we are touching 1 hour now.
Yes,
but
yes,
then,
yeah.
But again, I have a last question for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Before closing the session, what changes occur in the face while aging?
Yes. So the changes that occur in the face while aging is a completely massive topic, to talk about. But mainly what happens with aging is that the skin sags, wrinkles form on the face, volume which was there on the face, you see the cheeks, the fullness of the cheeks reduce, the bone itself, the facial bone itself reduces in size. So these are the problems that happen with the face. So for wrinkles, you have Botox. For decreased volume, you have fillers. If you have sagging, you can pull things up.
Okay.
You can do a facelift. You can do that. If your nose isn't all right, you can fix the nose. There are also big segment of people for lips, where people want fuller lips now. So people who have thin lips come to us for fillers for the lip because they want a nice full lip. A lot of women come for this, mainly women. So I think now lip augmentation is also a very big,
very popular now.
Yes, very popular now. So that is also another big percentage of this one. So the face, these are mainly the things that happen, and the neck. The neck also forms lines. Same thing.
Right,
It becomes saggy.
Right.
So everything can be improved upon. I am not saying that how you look now can be reversed to how you look when you were 20. That will never happen.
True.
But how you look now can be improved by 5 years to 10 years.
Yes.
So
yes.
that can be done.
Right.
So because
I must tell you that there is no age for that. Looking good, you can always look good. Even at 60, you can look good. Even at 70, you can look good. Doctor, what's the last subject just occurred? That thinning of the hair.
Yes.
So what can be done for that?
Again, thinning of the hair. Losing hair is one thing, thinning of the hair is one thing. So it depends on, male associated hereditary hair loss in men will happen, and it will always keep happening. In women, they do see certain thinning of the hair. So it's important to go to a good surgeon who does all these things. So there are multiple options for people with hair loss. There is medication. So we have tablets, we have lotions where you have to apply it every day to improve the vascularity of the hair, to improve the blood supply of the hair, to improve follicle growth in the hair. We have injections that we give, which is a PRP injection. So they're plasma rich platelet injections. So they're basically blood from your body, which we centrifuge and use only the good part of the blood, which is very rich in oxidants for improving hair growth. So you inject that into the hair, and then finally you have hair transplant, which is like the last thing for this one. Again, for the hair also, it's very important to keep it clean, to shampoo, condition it every day, so that every other day to maintain your hair.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you,
You're
viewers, to be with us for 1 full hour, and we never realized that we have touched 1 hour. Please subscribe to our page, Facebook page, which is Sagar Hospitals India. To subscribe, you don't have to do anything, just like the page. We do various programs, you'll be updated about that, and please come back to us with your suggestions, and we are always there for you. Thank you so much, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, viewers.
Thank you so much.